Well, hey, you, and welcome to episode one of the Miss Michaela Mae Show. I'm your host, Miss Michaela Mae. And if you've listened to my other podcast, the Western Hippie podcast, you know that I have my corgis Tank and Willie here with me. So if you hear paw prints in the background, it is likely, well, hopefully for your and I's sake, it is a corgi. And today I wanted to introduce this episode and answer the question, why the heck are we here? 'Cause one, it's a great question. Two, it's a question I've been asking myself a lot the last 5 years. And there's an indirect answer to that question. And there's also a very direct answer to that question. The direct answer to that question is I have been thinking about what I really want for my life the next 5 years, what my long term vision is. After COVID, I really got into a survival state and I had a really hard time thinking I couldn't even really think about the following day, to be honest with you. I was in such a state of fight or flight that, and I'll get into that at some point in this show, but I was in such a state of fight or flight that I couldn't even think about what I wanted to do the next day, let alone start planning for things ahead of more than 24 hours. And I turned my computer on Do Not Disturb, so I don't know why we are doing that. So you're just going to be with me while we're putting that on Do Not Disturb. Okay, we're good to go. Um, and so I've got to a point, I've been doing a lot of regulating of my nervous system, rewiring of my brain to get myself re-regulated and out of fight or flight. And in that started thinking and had the capacity in my nervous system to start thinking about things more long term. And when I started thinking about things more long term, the current podcast that I have, the Western Hippie podcast, which will stay going, it will remain the Western Hippie podcast. I want to niche down and make that be a resource, a directory, an index, if you will, of you can go there and you're going to find a holistic remedy for you, your horse, or your dog. I don't want it to have the randomness. However, why this show was created is because it is essential part of my soul to have randomness and to be random. And I want to have a personal brand. And the more I sat with the Western Hippie, it's not a personal brand. I think of it more of like a Nike or a Quest, where there's somebody behind the brand, but they're not the face of the brand. The product is the face of the brand. And that's what I really wanted for the Western Hippie, is for the animals and the Western Hippie itself to be the face of the brand, where I'm the one behind it. I'm the one bringing it to life, but I'm not the face of it. But I also write. I'm an author. I do. My first book is out. Oh, that might be episode 4. My goal today. So this is kind of fun because I'm actually doing like a mini. I'm recording this right now, but I'm also doing a vlog explaining like my goal is I've gotten a podcast launched in 3 days. My goal is to get one launched today. So this is the first episode. I've outlined 3 episodes to record today, but I only have 3 outlined, and I don't know what 4 and 5 is going to be. So that might be a fun topic to cover. But anyway, um, all of that aside, it made sense for me about writing my first book. Yeah, there we go. So it made sense to me to have this personal brand where I could talk more about writing and being an author and creativity and trauma and healing. I'll still talk about that as it pertains to animals. But the main goal with the Western Hippie is horses and dogs. And with my personal brand and with the Western Hippie, it also did feel like 2 different markets. There is some overlap, but the majority, it does feel like 2 different ideal clients and 2 different people I'm talking to. It felt confusing for me. And so I kept thinking, okay, if this is confusing for me, it's going to be confusing for my audience. Let's niche down on the Western Hippie, start the Miss Michaela Mae Show. And so here we are. Welcome to the Miss Michaela Mae Show. That is the background of the why of why we are doing this today and why we are starting the show. So thank you for being here. The more indirect answer is, and I am going to talk about this, when an episode can work on both places, I'm just going to cross post it and do a different intro. But the other thing that I want to talk about is like purpose. And the question is the indirect question of what are we doing here? Why are we here? Has been on my mind a lot the last 5 years, especially since COVID, of what am I here to do? What is my purpose? And what, whether you believe in God or just in higher power, what is that soul mission that we are here to do and that we are only can complete, that we only can do. And I was actually thinking about this. That might be episode 4 and 5, actually. For in Lord of the Rings, and I can't remember the exact quote, but it's when like right after Frodo it's in the spider scene, and I don't know if it's only in the extended versions because I only watched the extended versions of Lord of the Rings. Tank, if you just heard a noise in the background, that was Tank growling. He agrees with me. We only watched the extended versions of Lord of the Rings. Um, and she says to Frodo, like, if you don't complete this mission, no one will. And we all have that. We all have a mission that if we don't complete, nobody will. That is going to be episode 4. Frodo has a mission only he can complete, and so do you. That is our episode 4. You're hearing it and discovering it in real time. And so I'm not going to go further on that now that we know that's going to be episode 4, but that's really been a question that has been sitting with me. It's like, what is that mission only I am here to complete? And in that, I have found really tangible tools to help us do that. So I'll be talking about that, and that will overlap with the Western Hippie a little bit. But that is the direct answer. And the indirect answer as to why we are here. We are here because I wanted to start a personal brand podcast. And we are also here because I've been trying to answer the question for myself, what am I doing here? So we're going to figure that out together. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the Miss Michaela Mae Show. I'm so thankful that you listened to episode 1 and that we are going to be on this journey together. So welcome, and let's get started.